Greetings and welcome to another Pokémon 2023 or Pokémon Horizons the series anime video. In this video I want to talk about the 6 heroes or the 6 Pokémon that went with the ancient adventurer Lucius to paradise. More specifically, I want to talk about the 4 whose identity we currently do not know. I want to use what little information is currently available about them to try to predict or guess who they might be. So, let's get to it. Now to begin with, what do we know about the 4 unknown heroes? Well, there are really only 2 things we know about them. First, we have some idea of what they look like based on how they are depicted in the picture book Alex made, which Liko and Roy read in episode 12. These drawings are of course quite abstract, and so it's honestly impossible to identify each Pokémon based solely on their picture. But we can at least narrow down the list of candidates significantly using only these cryptic drawings. The second thing we know about them is their special ability, or rather what they did that only they could have done to help Lucius and the others reach paradise. For example, Arboliva was described as the one who heals wounds. The unknown 4 each have a similar skill that they brought to the table. Said skill can also help to narrow down the number of potential candidates. So with this information at hand, it's time to start speculating. Let's begin with this one. Obviously, it's a bird, or at least I am pretty sure it is. Therefore, it can only be a Pokémon that is based on a bird. Though something about this one caught my eye. Another one of the 4 unknown heroes is also a bird, but it's clearly flying, as birds ought to do, and it's always depicted as such in the book. But the other one is always seen on the ground. So it's a bird, but specifically a flightless one or one that is mostly on the ground. It also appears to be humanoid, with it having arms with wings instead of just straight up wings. It's colored orange and its skill or unique thing is to shatter rocks. Also, bird Pokémon tended to be flying type more often than not, which narrows it down a little more. Though a grounded or flightless bird might not be a flying type. Honestly, Hawlucha was the first Pokémon to come to mind. It's not orange, at least not entirely, but red and orange are kind of close. Everything else matches. A fighting type like it could certainly shatter rocks with its fists. Galarian Zapdos also came to mind. It is orange and a fighting type that is also easily capable of powering through rocks. But it's not really humanoid. Certainly not like Hawlucha. Plus it clearly has actual wings, not arms with wings. And it favors kicking over punching. Oricorio, specifically Bylestyle and Delibird, also resemble the Pokémon in the picture book. But they are not fighting type, nor do they look strong enough to shatter rocks barehanded. So overall, Hawlucha remains my best guess. Next up, I might as well tackle the other bird. Again, this one does fly, and it's always seen doing so in every scene in the picture book. So while we are still looking for a bird and a flying type, flightless or mostly grounded birds are out this time. Also, flying type is more likely in this case for obvious reasons. Notably, this one appears to have no legs, or if it does, they are quite small. It also clearly has a long tail. Additionally, it is pretty much the same color as the other bird. The long tail made me think of Articuno, but it does not match the coloration of the picture. Plus, it of course has long legs. Yveltal also came to mind. It's a better match for the color, it also has a longer tail, and it has small legs. But its big claws, which it also has on its tail, might discard it, since the Pokemon in the picture book does not seem to have such claws. Though this is debatable. Honestly, Yveltal is a great fit. I also thought of Moltres and Ho-Oh, but their tails are too short, with Ho-Oh's also being too puffy, and they both have long legs. Landorus, specifically in its incarnate form, also came to mind. But it's not a bird, it does not have wings, and it does not really have a tail. Only something that could look like one. So I think that Yveltal is my best guess. Now you might be thinking that a legendary Pokemon is too much, but remember Rayquaza. Moving on, we have this one. Clearly, it's a quadrupedal Pokemon. Obviously, it's quite fluffy since it has a lot of fur. It's a beefy Pokemon and its ability is to run across the land, meaning that it is likely a Pokemon you could feasibly ride over long distances. Also, it's beige in color, which makes me think it's a rock or ground type Pokemon, especially since said types would be fit of being workhorses capable of powering through any terrain like bulldozers. Piloswine and the Mammoth Swine came to mind instantly. However, the Pokemon in the picture book clearly does not have tusks, though they could be hiding under the fur. Plus, I just don't see Piloswine as a Pokemon you could ride. Hippowdon is another great candidate, but it's not fluffy enough. Pokemon like Torterra, Camerupt, Rhyhorn, Bastiodon, and Terrakion fit some of the criteria, but they are not fluffy enough or at all, and they have a tree, volcanoes, spikes, a shield face, and horns, respectively, that are not present in the picture book. Ursaluna is another great candidate, though I dare say it's not fluffy enough either. Plus, Lucius went to paradise just 100 years ago. Were Hisuian Pokemon even still around back then? It's possible, I suppose, but we don't know for sure. I also decided to look at the normal type Pokemon, since they are all-rounders that could do what a rock or ground type Pokemon can do. Pokemon like Tauros, Buffalant, and Wyrdeer fit some of the criteria, but they are also not fluffy enough. Plus, they have horns, which again, the Pokemon in the book does not have. Stoutland, on the other hand, is another great candidate. It matches every criteria except the typing. But again, Normal types are Jack of all trades. Plus, beige reminds me of this type as well. I also decided to look at grass type Pokemon, since arguably no other type of Pokemon is more in tune with the land in order to race through it unimpeded. The only grass type that could fit the bill is Go-Goat, but it has horns, it's not quite beefy or fluffy enough, and the Pokemon in the book clearly does not have grass on it. So my best guesses here are Ursaluna and Stoutland, with Piloswine and Mammothswine being quite likely as well. Also, some of these might be too small to ride on, but remember that Arboliva is a lot bigger than normal. The other heroes could also be giants. Finally, we have this Pokemon. It's blue, it has a long neck, it has a beefy body, and its skill is swimming. Might as well be describing Lapras. I think that Lapras is without a doubt one of the best candidates. Now obviously we are looking for a water, ice, or dragon type Pokemon here. So other potential candidates are Aurorus and Drampa. But it's debatable if they can swim or not. Plus, several of their physical traits are not present on the picture book Pokemon. So Lapras is honestly the only good candidate. Though it is worth mentioning that like the previous Pokemon, this one also has a lot of fur. But Lapras has no fur, which casts some doubt on whether or not this Pokemon is Lapras. Additionally, it does not seem to have fins like Lapras does, though it does have a horn like Lapras, and something that resembles ears that look like the ones Lapras has. So who knows, maybe it is a Lapras after all. Now before I end the video, I do want to go over 2 disclaimers. First, we have 2 expansions for Scarlet and Violet on the horizon. They will for sure add new Pokemon, several of which have yet to be revealed. It's possible that one or more of the remaining 4 heroes is or are said new Pokemon that we do not know of. For example, Fessendipity, one of the new Pokemon, could be the second bird Pokemon in the picture book. Therefore, it's impossible to guess with 100% accuracy if this ends up being the case. I mean, just look at Lico's pendant. We still have no idea what Pokemon it is. Second, like I said up top, these drawings are very abstract, and they were also drawn by Alex based on a story told to him by Lico's grandmother, meaning that he might have just drawn these based on his own interpretation. So who knows how accurate these pictures are to the real thing. It's possible that they are just what Alex believes them to be, and not who they are. Only Rayquaza, who is mentioned by name, is completely accurate. Though the one said to heal wounds does look like Arboliva. So perhaps this picture book is not completely inaccurate. But yeah, that's everything I have for you in this video. Since Pokemon Horizons is currently on break, I had to think of some content to post in the meantime, and I figured that this would be a nice and fun subject to tackle. I love making speculation videos and I have not been able to do too many of them thus far with Horizons. So I am glad that I got to make another one. Hopefully it was as enjoyable for you to watch as it was for me to make it. Also, I am very interested in knowing your own predictions. So please leave them in the comment section down below. But that's the video. As always, leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokemon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this one right away. Additionally, down in the description, I have affiliate links for GameStop, which is where I buy all my gaming related stuff, affiliate links for Amazon, which is where I buy all my stuff that is not gaming related or groceries, and a link to my Buy Me a Coffee page. These links will all allow you to support me directly if you would like to. I would very much appreciate it. Also, I have a link to my second channel, where I cover Resident Evil. If this is something that would interest you, then please check said channel out. Thank you so very much for watching and let's meet again in the next video.